We knew this day was coming when they would be forced to have a Nerf set.
The problem is though, if I sit down on this, I will never get back
You'll never get up.
without making porno noises.
Well, don't worry. I think Brianna's got that market cornered.
Oh God, these pants are gonna get me pregnant. Okay.
So here goes. Ready? We're gonna.
We're going down. We're going down. And.
Oh God! Oh God! There it is! Yes! Oh God! Yes!
Kids at home, if you've ever wondered,
That was so good.
And about the right amount of time, ladies and gentlemen, Kim Rhodes and Briana Buckmaster.
Hello. You guys, that took all the energy that I had. Stupid beanbag chairs.
What? You want this one too, Michael? Mike, do you want another chair?
Other side.
They're like, we don't want to come back.
Where'd he go?
They're like,
do you want this?
Scared. Yeah. Come get it.
Wait, or were you going to ask a question, Mike? You can ask us questions in the green room. You don't have to line up for them.
This is adorable. Thank you.
Oh, look at that's
two-man
fucking
job.
hilarious. Okay, for those of you who don't understand what the fuck just happened, this is usually our introduction. Brianna, you want to do the honors? Hello, welcome. Bad girls. What's she gonna do?
Well, yeah. It seemed a little aggressive.
Fuck you. And so now they're afraid I'm going to hurt myself because I'm old.
Yeah.
And so they've gotten us soft, cushy chairs.
Oh, hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Pardon me. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those panels. Great. The ladies of the circuit have graced us. Okay. It's windy here, hey? Oh, there's the Canadian in me. You love that. It really is. I thought it was just a funny bit, but it's windy. It's a windy city. All right, I'll answer your questions. Stop asking me. Stop pestering me. Hello.
Hi. This is kind of a sad question, but now that
I'll tone it
the show
down.
is ending, how do you guys want it to end? How do you see it ending?
With a Judy and Donna spinoff. No, wait.
Too soon.
No, I imagine, okay, so in my spare time, I write scenes in my head. Not that any of you can't relate to that. Fuck you, we all do it. So my imaginary ending for the series is Sam and Dean are just like, all hope is lost, that's it. Everybody they know and love is dead. All shit's going down, and then all of a sudden somebody starts screaming, Sam, Dean, and then the voice coalesces into Mary. The camera turns. You see Mary leaning out of her door going, Sam, Dean, come in. And it goes back, and Sam and Dean are children. And they have all of their toys, and they've been playing with these toys. Wait for it. And they put down their toys, and they go inside, and then the camera pans up the tree, and Castiel and Crowley are standing there watching them.
Kim, why don't you write a script? They must be really lost on how they want to end it.
Yeah, I'm sure they have no clues. No, but that's my like, how do you do it in a loving but yet authentic way?
Yeah, that's incredible.
And not like and then it was all a dream. Fuck you.
That's what I was gonna say.
It was real.
Just kidding, I'm
it
kidding.
just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I don't have a smart answer like that. Let's see how Game of Thrones ends, and then I'll say it like that. Just dragons.
Is that okay? Do you approve?
Thank you.
All right, did I pass?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can say no. Don't be scared. I know we had a weird entrance, and I'm aggressive. I'm really nice. It's a bit. I'm just doing a bit. I know I look like I'm mean, but I'm not. I'm fun. Fun and nice, I swear. And what? What the fuck do you want?
First of all, neither one of you look mean. I love you both.
Thank you. We love you too.
Second of all, what would be on the gag reel of your life?
What wouldn't be on the gag reel? I don't know. So you mean like what would be funny or what would be a mistake?
Like a blooper that happened in your real life, like not on a set or anything.
Well, bloopers in their definition are something that happened by accident off. Kim has an answer. Thank you.
Okay, so here's Briana and I in England. Briana's outside a building. I'm inside a building. Stand up. You have to play your part. Stand up. You have to play your part. Stand up. It's a circle door. Was it a circle-y door? Or was it just a regular door? I don't remember. All I know is this was me. Why weren't you filming that?
I thought she was doing a bit. It was so perfect. Like I'd never seen anybody do that not in the movies.
And the first words out of my mouth really were accusation that she hadn't filmed it.
Why?
I was like,
Because
because
it Oh man. Oh, I wish I'd filmed that just for my own enjoyment. Because she was so sure that there was no window there. She was so certain.
I was so certain Briana and a cup of coffee were in my imminent future. I was wrong.
Oh God, I totally forgotten. Thank you for that, Jen. If I get nothing else from this convention, I get that. Thank you. That's my answer as well. No, you shut your pretty mouth. That's my answer. Listen, I fuck up all the time. I fuck up all the time. And you know what? I wear it with pride. Because my thoughts are, is when challenges come, you win, you win. You lose, you win. Because you still went for it. So that's how I live my life, so I have no life bloopers. Thank you. Hola.
Hi. My question is, what inspires you guys to be sheriffs? I'm actually in school for criminal justice for your role.
How do we get inspired to play
The
sheriffs?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my first inspiration was the job. Big fan of making the money. And beyond that, what I loved about Donna was that she was very good at her job, and she was very well respected, but also was deeply flawed and inherently very insecure and questioned a lot about her life and felt very lost. And I thought that that was an incredibly relatable character that I hadn't seen in mainstream media, and felt very fortunate and grateful to a show like Supernatural that decided to really change things up in terms of writing for females. So I thought it was cool.
And I don't know if this will come as a surprise to you, but I personally have a bit of an anarchist streak in me. I have a tendency to not be a big fan of authority figures. And so being like, yeah, sure, I'll completely emotionally commit to being a cop was a challenge for me. So two things helped. One, shout out to my friend Aaron, who is a police officer in Portland, Oregon, that I one of my best friends since high school, and I grilled him on what do I not want to do that will make you crazy if you see me do it playing a cop. So that's where my excellent trigger finger discipline has come from. The people that have helped as police officers in my life, and also the phrase to protect and serve. Because in that aspect, law enforcement is actually being of service, and it is an altruistic act. And so remembering that my goal as a police officer, as a sheriff, is not the laws, but the enforcement for safety. The same reason I tell my daughter to follow directions, because if you don't, you will be hurt. Because my job is to make your life better, not to make it worse. And that's where my brain had to go to play this character in a way that I could commit to. Thank you. And congratulations. And thank you.
Get it, girl. Yo.
Hi.
Hello.
So I just want to know kind of like, what do you think, or what's one thing you wish you knew more about? Like anything kind of like in terms of acting or just general life? Like what do you wish you knew more about?
Stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna go with things, but
Yeah.
stuff is good. Stuff is good.
Everything.
Things.
I am a big fan of doing things that I don't know how to do poorly. My inherent shame comes from many things, but none of them have to do with learning things. I am happy to fail. I'm not saying I am a shameless person. I have shame, I have things that I work on within myself, but learning to do things, to me, that is a gift. I feel like anytime I'm not learning is when I start to feel my most stagnant and insecure and start to maybe spiral a little bit. I love to learn things, and that's also how I find out what I like to do. So I've actually recently been thinking about learning to play an instrument. Thank you. I haven't done it yet, but thank you. I played piano growing up, and my folks were really broke, and so I used to have a piano at a neighbor's house, and I would go over to their house to practice on their piano because we couldn't afford one. So then inevitably, as I got older, I was never able to continue that. Really, I just didn't want to because I was an asshole. But now I wish I had, I really wish I had. So that's something that I wish that I could do. I would love to be able to accompany myself and just, I don't know, sometimes I wish I'd used more of that side of my brain. What about you?
I'm sorry, I know this isn't the answer to your question. In fact, fuck it, what question? The only thing that comes to mind is that I wish I were more skilled at recognizing the voice of fear in my head. Because fear masquerades as so many things to me. It masquerades as justified rage, it masquerades as common sense, it masquerades as just the way things are. It masquerades as danger, it masquerades as so many things, when in fact, when I can just go, we were talking about this in the green room, and I was like, when I can just go, you're scared, that's okay, I gotcha, that's just fear. You don't have to listen to it, no you don't, you're so good, you're so pretty, come on, who's a good girl, come on. Then I'm like, yes! But as long as I'm like, no, fuck you, this is a justified reaction, I'm gonna sink my teeth into it, then I don't get to, come on, you got this, Kimmy, come on. And I like being that person instead. So I wish I were better at recognizing when the voices in my head are all just crazy tunes and need to be put to bed, possibly with a nice story. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi. So speaking of that, I was just gonna ask you guys about that. Like the podcast brings so much perspective to my life and has helped me grow so much as a person. And especially just that thought of like, talk to yourself like you're a kid and just like so much stuff of just being so much kinder to yourself. So I wonder like what kind of journey, because it's taken me on such a journey of like personal growth, like week by week. I'm just like, oh my God, I never thought of things that way. So for you guys, like what journey has the podcast taken you on, hearing each other's perspectives every week? And then like how has that helped your friendship grow and change?
Oh, wow, okay.
Oh, so that.
Yeah, that's a real quick
So
question.
that.
Okay, first of all, talking with Kim is like, and I think this is, Kim specifically for me, but I think talking with a friend who has a really good handle on open communication and holding space for you as opposed to the need to fix you or the need for you to be okay so that they can be okay. Kim doesn't have that, and so it's really great talking to her because she listens and she also offers her perspective. And so when we talk in the podcast, it kind of is a little bit like talk therapy. We do learn from each other, and are you gonna take a picture right now?
No.
Okay. And we learn new things about each other, which is always fun because we think we know so much about each other, and you're like, no, we actually don't know everything. And I think that personal growth should be infinite. I think we all could help ourselves a lot if we rid ourselves of the notion that I will be okay when ... How about we just continually be okay and notice the old patterns, like Kim was talking about, old programming that we've found, that Kim has figured out, going, oh, that's fear, that's not actually, and we work on that. But I think that personal growth for me is an endless, fascinating, but it's constant work, and that's okay. And sometimes it's more exhausting than others, but I think that we need to rid ourselves of the idea that at some point we won't have to work on it anymore. We will always have to work on it, and that's good and important and awesome.
I'm just gonna read you some stuff. This is from our text thread last night. Briana says, amazing. I say, I keep laughing at car testicles. That's scams, all the science things we are learning. You're making me cry laugh. She said, LOL. I'm so glad you put dick fart back in. I said, yeah, glad I remembered it. I think it's really funny. Hard to follow, but fucking funny. It's like a YouTube video. She said, people will love it. That intro is truly thumbs up. I said, thanks, Mama. I love you. Thanks for kicking my ass and making me fly. She said, your wings have always been there. I'm just cutting the rope is all. From dick fart to the ability to fly. So that's how it is.
Yeah.
There's a journey right there.
So it's okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, she left. You're not. I'm like, great. And you bleached your hair.
She's off.
I hugged Briana and the world has changed.
Yes.
Okay, you
We'll
go
come back to you.
Hi. I have a really simple question. In your worldly travels, what is the craziest or weirdest food you have ever eaten?
Rocky Mountain oysters.
Are those testicles, bull's testicles? You had them?
Yeah, yeah.
There's gotta be weirder ones, but the one that's like people love and I think is fucking disgusting is blood sausage. Yeah, which is literally just a casing full of blood that's cooked. Who eats that? People who are low on iron, I'm sure. But I think it's gross. I don't think I've eaten any weird stuff, and I love sweetbreads. You guys know what those are? Love sweetbreads. Love escargot. My husband's a chef, and all the years I was not working as an actor, I was working in really high-profile restaurants with celebrity chefs, so we were forced to try lots of things. So I've had like beef tongue, and none of that stuff really bothers me. Bugs, no.
I
don't think so.
Chocolate-covered ants.
Yes.
I don't like Rice Krispies.
Yeah, they're just kind of like whatever. And people are saying, that that's the new protein of the future. Bugs, yeah, because they're high in protein and there's lots of them.
All right.
Okay, fine. Not so bad. Yeah, nothing super weird, but I'm open. Always. What you got? Okay, that's just a tease then. It's just a tease.
Oh, you want to know what the weirdest thing I've had is?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, I thought you may not want to know. I taught English in China for a year, so you may not want to know.
Oh, no, now I really want to know.
FYI context, I did not know until a week later. Dog.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the other thing is like a lot of, you see this face? This is upsetting. No, yeah. Well, and like, no, let's not go to, I can't
we got it.
Never mind. But thank you.
Okay, we're back.
Hi, my question's for Kim. So,
I'll answer it.
Yeah.
Unless it's a sad question. Is it sad?
no, it's not sad, I promise.
Okay.
I watched Supernatural and The Sweet Life at the same time when I was a kid. So, I wanted to know like the similarities between working with Jensen and Jared and Dylan and Cole.
Well, so Dylan and Cole, those two jokesters. I mean, every day I would come to set, Dylan would smack my butt, Cole would hand me a beer, they'd say some hilarious joke, we'd laugh and laugh, and then it was time to get down to work. So you can see the similarities between Jared and Jensen there, right? So Dylan, he's the brunette.
They're both blonde.
He's a blonde. He is so blonde. Cole as well, because they're identical twins. They're twins. They were always forgetting their lines. And so when they would forget their lines, they would go, "Hey Kim, what's my line?" And my response would be, "Learn your fucking lines." So, I mean, there was one instance it got really tense between Dylan and I, and they had to separate us. They had to bring in some lawyers. It was hard. It was really hard for a while. So then when I got to working with Jared and Jensen, he's the ass smacker. No, I'm just gonna end it there. I think that I've drawn enough between the two boys to let you know that it is just a house of horrors altogether. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you so much.
She's like,
My
not what I asked for.
No, that's my actual answer, which she does much better than I do, because my actual answer is Jensen and Jared are taller.
Hi. So I was just wondering, so in the show, Donna's first episode, she deals with a lot of weight issues and dealing with the social constructs that the world puts on females. And I was wondering what your advice is to young girls who struggle with eating disorders or anything that has to do with body dysmorphia, and what people say to them.
So what I love about the world right now is there are so many, the landscape is changing. Have we noticed that? In media, in Instagram, influencers, everywhere. I also have found people in media who I can relate to, and not only relate to, but also be inspired by because of the way they own their body. Listen, I don't think that people who are overweight are the only ones that have problems with the way they look. But what I think that we need to do, and this is what I do on a regular basis, is that I practice. I practice kindness to myself, and that kindness is not only verbal, but it's also active. So I treat myself nicely with good food, by surrounding myself with people who make me feel good about myself, by creating boundaries for people who are not bad, but just don't make me feel good about myself. I exercise. All of these things are not so that I look a certain way, they're so I feel a certain way. Because I don't think that the feeling of body confidence looks one shape. So my recommendation has been and will continue to be is look in the mirror and use your name and tell yourself that you love yourself. Over and over and over. And I know that's hard, and I know that that's uncomfortable, and I know that you might not believe it at first, but eventually you will believe it. And instead of looking at your body and pointing to the things that you don't like about yourself, look at the things you do like about yourself. Everybody has something. Or if you don't, look at something that somebody has said that they like about you. Like, I think that you have a beautiful smile. And I can see it right now, just barely because these lights are bright. So take that and use that every day. the reality is, nobody is always going to be happy with the way you look. That's an inside job, right? So it's up to you to look at yourself and go, this is me, this is my meat suit for literally ever, and you gotta make peace with it, okay? I can stand here all day and tell you how beautiful you all are, and it won't make a lick of difference unless you tell yourself. Self-love literally is inside job, and you gotta do it yourself. I'm here to help you, but I can't do it for you, right?
I was once advised, possibly by you, that also when I look in the mirror and I can't see anything I like, what does it do for me? These hands touch my child. This stomach processes food. These legs get me up on stage. Like, these are experiences as opposed to a visual endpoint. So often I focus on the energy and the accomplishments and the feelings instead of the appearance, because the appearance is just for a second, but an experience is for the rest of my life. So yeah.
It's funny how and I don't know if men can speak on this, but my experience is that as a woman, I have a tendency to sometimes speak of myself like I'm not in here. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, like this isn't me.
Like sometimes I occasionally grab my feet, because something with my feet, I think it has to do with grounding, but grabbing my feet weirdly pulls me back into myself to remind me that I'm in this body. And so when I talk to myself, I'm talking inside this body. So it's kind of funny how we all kind of look outside of our bodies and think that that's a thing to judge. When we are in here, it is up to us. This is it. This is it. I mean, that is it. Be kind to yourself, you guys, every day. Every fucking day.
Hi, my question is actually for Kim, but if Briana wants to answer for her.
I'm taking this question off.
Get it.
I can't remember what episode it was, but back when Crowley was on a date with Jody, do you think if Crowley didn't try to kill Jody at the time, would they have gone on to continue dating and whatnot?
No, but they would have fucked.
I smell a spin-off!
Yeah, I don't think he's the kind of guy that she could have stomached being with for an extended period of time, because he's Crowley and she's Jody. But yeah, they would have had some noisy sex.
I feel like Crowley's a person that likes to be dominated. Does anybody else get that impression?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that. He's lazy. Okay, yes. Nothing. Hello.
Hi. Sorry if I keep looking out into the crowd. I'm looking for my mom, but I keep remembering that she's having a diabetic problem right now. But my question is...
Wait, who else? Who else do you know out there?
No one.
Okay, wait. You, right there. Go give her a hug.
What?
Here, give her a hug. Now, I understand I'm asking you to put your camera down. Wait. I will come over and I will pose for you because you've got a camera. Please go hold her hand while she asks this question. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. What's your question?
My question is, what were you guys' first impressions of each other?
Oh, this is a funny one.
Okay, you got it. You don't have to stay there the whole
It's a great
entire
question.
time now. You good? Okay.
I had heard a lot about Kim, and being kind of the new character on the show, and when I met Kim, it was only my second episode, and I'd never been on a TV show twice, ever. So I was so fucking excited. So I'd heard a lot about Kim, and from the boys, from the director, from the producers, and so I really wanted to make a good impression. So, I'm driving up. This was for Hibby 911. I'm driving up in the big van that they drive us to set with, and I see Kim step out of the lodge where we're filming, and I went, Kim! Kim! It's Briana! Nice to meet you! I'm so excited! And they're like, we're shooting right now. I didn't see the cameras. I don't understand television that well. At that time, anyway. So that was my first impression. I think it went well. And then part 2 of that was when we were filming our first scene together. It was the scene when our characters actually meet, when she's signing in the convention, and Donna's offering her a lollipop and all that stuff, right? So I had business, it was a table, business here, business here, business here, and I was struggling to hit my mark. And I went, oh, motherfucker! And I went, oh, sorry, I swear a lot. She laughed and laughed and laughed. She said, oh, you don't know me yet. And then we became fast friends over cookies and coffee.
It was, and then then we had cookies. We had cookies. I will give you the non-funnier ugliness that is Kim. I had also heard about Briana. I'd heard how funny she is, and how pretty she is, and how much everybody loves her so much. We love her the best. We love her better than you. She's gonna take your place. You should probably go die. I'm pretty sure that's what they said. Yeah, pretty sure. So I was like, hi? Yeah. And then, that talent I was talking about, I really wish I had. I do have it sometimes. A little voice in the head was like, hey, you're just scared. And I was like, yeah? It's like, yeah. But she looks really cool and you might want to be her friend. And I was like, yeah. And she likes cookies. Let's go get cookies, okay.
You know what's funny? I remember one day we were shooting, we were talking about the conventions because I hadn't started the circuit yet. And we had lunch in your trailer. You're like, come, I'll tell you all about them. Because you were so sure that I was going to be replacing you. I remember that. And I remember going, maybe they'll just put us both on stage at the same time. And you were like, never gonna happen. Never gonna, and so, yeah.
And thus began our theme song as a duo.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe this will happen. It'll never happen. What time do I show up?
Still got it. Great question.
Thank you. Wait, do you want us here? Hold on. What are we doing? Are we being smart?
Thank you.
Hi. My question is, what is the most interesting thing you've had to learn to do for a role?
For a role?
For a role.
I mean, fight training. Fight training for me, I'd never done fight training before, and I love boxing, and so I was like, I would love fight training. Fight training is a very different animal because it's not boxing. I mean, we did do some boxing, but it's not about strength. It's about choreography, yeah. So it was very challenging. I'd never done that before, and now I'm glad I have that under my belt. And we got to do jujitsu, I remember. This was for the Wayward Sisters pilot. We trained for about 3 months. And that was super duper, if I can use that cuss word. I can't think of anything else that I've done that was kind of, I had to wear an eye patch once in a play, and that was very challenging. It doesn't sound that hard, but it is so hard for the entire play, and I had to serve an entire meal and play cards, and it's hard, it's very hard.
Yeah, with no depth perception.
Exactly.
Yeah. I had to sword fight in a play once. I have had to speak Chinese. Yeah, get them off. Speaking Chinese, wait, what's this though? If it's a part of your shoe, don't lose it.
No. I don't know what that, it was from a stool. We officially busted a stool.
We broke a stool.
Yeah, it was so rock and roll. It's just
Yes,
like the
breaking
bottom of it.
furniture. Speaking Chinese, sign language. I did a play where I did a lot of sign language. That was really, I know. And I talk with my hands anyway, so it came very naturally to me. That's my, what do I wish I knew that I don't know? At some point, I will learn more sign language.
Oh, I love that. I'd do that with you. That's awesome.
So I understand, because I'm not good at it. Yeah, I'm sure there were more interesting things, but I've been doing this for 30 years. I don't remember.
Nothing
anything.
shocks us anymore.
Those come to, those
We're
come
like,
to, yeah.
what? How much do I get paid? All right, fine.
Yeah, I do remember there was a stunt once that was very interesting. This was the most, I think this may be the most interesting thing I ever had to do. It was on Supernatural and I got clotheslined. So like, I'm running and somebody does this to me and I went flying back. And the way they do it is they put you in a vest, very sturdy vest, that has a leash attached to it. I'm sure there's a more articulate term for it, but it felt like a leash. And then they take the leash and they screw it in the ground, really deep. And then they put a mat out and they go, run! Yeah, run! Harder, faster! So I ran and ran and ran and ran and ran and ran and off! And it looked like I'd gotten clotheslined and it was really cool. So that was fun, super high tech.
Thank you. I wish we had cooler things to say. I should make something up. Oh, not gonna.
Hi there. How are you doing?
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
I love you guys.
We love you.
So this is my second con. I first went last year in Denver, and you guys were awesome.
Thank you.
I enjoyed the whole experience. Real quickly, I just want to tell you that you guys are such an inspiration, and that whole weekend was a big part of catalyst for change in my life. So thank you so much for what you do and who you are and how honest you guys are on stage and the things that you say to us. I struggle a lot with fear, and when I got autographs with you guys, I told Kim, I said thank you for being who you are, you know, because you're not afraid what people think. And you told me, you said, you know what, I'm going to tell you a secret. I do care what they think, but you know what? I act like that in spite of it. And I repeat that to myself every time I get afraid of what people think about me. And it's been a big part of my self-care. So
Good.
Thank you guys so much. And you know, you talked about body image and that, and again, females, a lot of us, we struggle with this, doesn't matter what size we are. And, oh, sorry.
You're killing it. You're doing great.
I just wanted to ask you, this is my birthday, by the way, on Monday.
Happy
So this is
birthday.
my birthday thing that I'm doing is this weekend. And when did you really start to feel that shift within yourselves? Like when you started stepping out of that, you know, oh, I hate myself, or oh, I can't do that. Because those are the biggest things I struggle with.
You know what? It was not a linear. It was not a moment. I just notice it more and more. For me, it's a pendulum. Because if I think of it as linear, then every time I experience something that makes me uncomfortable, or I think I've already learned, you should already know this, Kim, you suck. And every time I'm back there, then I feel like, well, I'm not progressing. But it isn't. Somebody once told me that we don't move like this through life. We move like this. So we go on a wheel. It's cyclical. So even though I feel like, oh my God, I'm here again, I'm not here again because it's right now. So I have to have patience and love for wherever I am. And letting that be okay. So there wasn't any aha moment of my life. There's just been more and more space between breaths where I can give myself the love that I deserve.
I notice, so for me, definitely self-confidence, just as Kim was saying, is not, I think of it as a ladder. I always think of it as a ladder. You know, I'm more and more confident. That's not how it works. Something will trigger me, or an event will happen that will cause me to fall a little bit, and that is okay. It is okay to be fucking sad. It is okay to have hard times in your life. What's important is that you keep going through it, right? Like you said, you didn't want things to scare you. You didn't want to stop doing things because you were scared. And I think that's incredible. It's hugely important that we continue to do things in spite of fear, because fear will be there. It will be there. And if we practice self-love, and self-love is another thing, as we were saying, is a daily practice. For me, it is a daily practice. It's a daily external. For me, I write every day, and I write things that I believe about myself, good and bad, but I always try to end it with, I'm love. I am love. So as long as I know that I am the love, I don't need it from other people. The less I need things, emotions, validation, things from other people, the more it's constantly available. Everything I have is here, but it is a muscle that I have to grow. It is a garden I have to water. Do you know what I mean? So keep doing that. Just keep practicing, keep watering your own garden, and try as hard as you can to not need things from other people, but to enjoy them from other people. And keep going.
Hey, sweetheart.
Hello. Have you guys done any kind of like pranks or something on other cast members? If so, what were they and who were they on?
Pranks. Drink. Only it's reverse. So make your friend give you booze. Well, we did. I don't know. Have you seen all the gag reels? Okay, so the only prank I ever planned was one that made the gag reel, where I had a scene where I was doing dishes with Dean. Jody's doing dishes with Dean, and Briana was visiting set that day. So I actually talked to the director. I got his okay, because this is not my house, right? I don't get to walk in and change the music. So I had this idea, and I said, "Can we do this?" And he said, "Yes, I'll set it up, and we'll keep shooting it." So he told
lit it. And
oh yeah, no, he lit it. He was prepared.
It.
He was prepared to direct this prank, and Briana was on set. So we finished the scene, which is like we're doing dishes and having a moment, and then I was like, "So could you finish up the dishes? Because I have a date." And Jensen, who is the consummate, like he loves improv, and he is.
The more he can be funny, like he gets annoyed because the last couple episodes we've done together, I've been serious, and he's like, fine. He just wants to fuck around all the time.
He's a generous actor. So when you throw him something like this, he isn't like, this isn't in the script. He's like, really? You have a date? With who? And then Briana walks around the corner and like puts her arm around me and throws colossal shade at him.
Yeah.
And then we walk out, and Jensen, being the brilliant actor that he is, full on puts a button on the scene by turning back towards camera with his dish rag and going, so it was more a for the fuck of it prank. It didn't turn out like he was like, oh, I got pranked, but it was fun and it amused me greatly.
And they don't prank me, they just fuck around with me. Or they love trying to make me corpse or, laugh in the middle of a scene, which they've succeeded at. Makes me so angry. But yeah, the last couple episodes I've done, the last 3, because Wayward Sisters, we literally had one, I had one wordless scene with them, and then Breakdown was very like sad, and the last episode we did, I thought Dean and I were gonna fuck around more or Jensen and I, Dean and I thought Jensen and I were gonna fuck around more with the burger scene, but we were so cold, and we just couldn't eat any more burgers. And so we didn't fuck around that much. So yeah, I haven't fucked around with them in a long time.
Here's the thing, and this is just my experience, but in my brain, because I've been doing this a long time and I come from the theater and I am fully aware of of the trajectory they have to get where they are, there is a power dynamic that means if I fuck around with them when it's the wrong time, I have fucked around with a lot of really important stuff. So I don't do that. Because part of something, they don't need anything from me, I'm just Kim. So something I can give to them because I love them so much is to take care of their process and not insert my funny little ideas into it. That's just what I do. And on the flip side, when they are in the mood to fuck around, they're already fucking around. I don't get to come up with any pranks because they're already like, having fun. So I take their lead. I very rarely, if ever, will insert myself into their process because I really love them and I really want to support them. And all it would take is one time when they're not in a headspace that I could actually hurt someone. Just for a second. And they're sturdy, hardy, amazing human beings. And they get it, but I don't even want to take that risk. So it's just, I don't mess with them because it's something I feel like I can offer them as their fellow actor.
Thank you.
And also because they're better at it than I am and they would kick my ass.
Hi, I love both of you. My question is for Kim, but Bree, feel free to answer too.
Thank you.
At Nashville, you terrified me, Kim. You said we had not seen the worst supernatural death yet. Have we seen it now, or should we still buckle up?
Oh, we saw it. Yeah, I was asked in Nashville, what death upset Jody the most and what death upset Kim the most. And at the time, I said Jody was probably most upset by either Kaya because her child Claire was so wounded by that, and Bobby, that one upset Jody. And I said I was not willing to tell you which death upset Kim the most. And yes, that has been seen. And I will not tell you what it was because I know there are people who maybe haven't seen everything yet. But yes, that death has happened. You're welcome.
Was it Charlie? I'm real behind.
It's me. It happened off screen and no one's ever going to talk about it.
Have you died?
Jody's dead.
No, you
I've
almost
not died.
died in that scene with Crowley, right?
I almost died, and they didn't tell me that I was still alive, so I was very snarky about it on set. They're like, that was really good, but you didn't hit the mark. Could you do it again? I would be like, I would, but I think I'm dead. You're not dead! Doesn't say that in the script anywhere. I don't have any episodes coming up. Maybe I am. And then I died in a psychic prediction that Patience saw. Patience had a vision that I died, but she warned me and I
wrong, girl.
got out of it.
Sweet.
Like a ninja.
Fucking Patience.
Yeah.
She's terrible.
I will tell you one of the secrets about Wayward that never came out, that if it had gone forward, they were going to try to figure out how to unpsychic her or expand her psychic, just because 2 episodes of using the word had a vision.
Yeah, we're gonna make that a drinking game, right?
We are fucking sick of this word already. What else do you say? Had a prediction. That doesn't sound very.
Had a dream.
Saw shit.
Had a feeling. Had a sense. Yeah. So we were all sitting around trying to come up with synonyms for
Had a thought.
vision. Had a thought. I had a feeling. I had a get down. There's a bullet coming at your head.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing? My name's Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
How you doing? What are your, how do you psych yourselves out for your roles before you get on stage? Like, what's your pre-game ritual? Do you, listen to Metallica or something in the trailer before?
For the conventions?
What's that?
For the conventions?
No, just for on the show in general.
How do we psych ourselves up?
Yeah.
To get ready to act.
To go into character, yes.
A nap. Probably check Twitter. It really depends. It really depends on what the episode is. If it's an episode like Breakdown, where I have to cry a lot in the episode, I am probably doing, lots of actors have, some actors don't have processes and some do. I kind of have one, which is I usually use for anything where I need to really externally emote, whether it's anger or grief or whatever, which is I do prep in my trailer, and I use a method where I go, okay, what is Donna feeling in this scene? And what does she want? What is her objective? And then if she's feeling sad, if she's feeling alone, then I go, okay, what does Briana know about that? And then I use that, I hook that emotion into a word in the script so that I say that word, I know this is weird, but I say that word over and over and over again in my trailer with the emotion that Briana thinks, and that so when I say that word in the scene as Donna, my body impulsively goes into that emotion without having to think about it. So then I know it looks authentic. That's what works for me. Lots of actors have different ways, but mostly I sit around and do nothing. Because we wait a lot in film television.
I run my lines a lot, preferably with the person I'm in the scene, because what I found is the less I have to think about the words coming out of my mouth, the more I can listen to the words coming out of their mouth and just respond authentically. And it's become a journey for me, acting has, of simplifying my process. So now if I can authentically listen to what someone is saying to me and trust that the words coming out of my mouth are probably the ones that were written, I will hopefully tell the story that the character is supposed to be telling. So yeah, I just run my lines. Like there's a lot of other shit that happens, but right before I go on, I just make sure I know the words.
That really is a hard job because they don't give them to you that far in advance. It's remarkable watching Jared and Jensen learn their lines. They just go, okay, let's go. And I'm like, I had that script for 2 weeks and I'm still like, okay, I think I'm ready. Yeah, it's a tricky thing to memorize your lines. Anyway, great question. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Ryan.
This is for Kim. I wanted to know how much of a difference playing Judy on Supernatural and playing the character in Criminal Minds. How different was it?
Criminal Minds.
How is it? What are the similarities and what are the differences?
What's your character's name in Criminal Minds?
Linda Barnes.
Linda. It was so tricky to play Linda in Criminal Minds. You know what? She is a Virgo, so she likes things just so. And I remember when I came on set, I was a guest star on the set, and that show stars actors such as
that one guy,
Joe Mantegna.
Hey,
he is a real piece of work. Am I right?
Yeah.
Every day he was like, "Hey, Kim," and I was like, "Lay off, Joe. A little too friendly there, Joe." He got the hint. I would go into the makeup trailer, and the makeup ladies would just be in awe of me. They would look at my skin like it was sweet, sweet porcelain. And they would apply 2 to 3 layers of fake lashes. And I would say, "Ladies, that's too much. Calm down." I never learned their names because I don't care enough about them. And then I would proceed to work. And my character, she was very important. She owned a dog school. And all kinds of dogs, not just one kind, all kinds of dogs, I know, right? And the funny thing was that she didn't like dogs. She did not like dogs. And so she would run this dog school, and everybody hated her so much because she was so mean to the dogs, and yet they'd keep coming because they wanted their dogs to win awards. And Linda would come in with her eyelashes a-flapping, and she would say, "Your dog's a piece of shit."
That's alarmingly close to exactly what happened. Only not at all. I love the persona of Kim the actor. Like, Kim the actor is really like, she knows her shit.
People like her.
People like her a little too much. I'm glad she's got solid boundaries.
I was gonna say,
she has to, you lay off, you shut up, stop slapping my ass.
Everybody's so, like,
they're
really inappropriate with Kim.
Kim the actor gets groped a lot. She gets hit on a lot. How does Kim the actor, I'm proud of her for establishing boundaries.
Proud of her too.
Kim the actor knows she has good fucking skin. and knows when she's never going to see anybody again, so why bother learning their names? God bless Kim the actor. Criminal Minds was the hardest I have ever had to act in my life. And I mean hard. I made very specific physical choices that were different than anything I'd ever made. The character was different than anyone I ever have been. And it was hard because they were all so nice and I had to be such a bitch. I kept apologizing every time they cut. I'd be like, I'm so sorry, was that too much? And they were like, no, bring it, more. Whereas Supernatural, definitely, Jodie's a lot. Jodie's Kim, just with different instincts. So it's a much different, it's more like bringing me out, and Criminal Minds was more like putting something on and making it fit. And hating dogs. Clearly.
Cool.
Your dog's a piece of shit!
Your dog is a piece of shit.
And by the way, your entire agency's shut down.
Thanks for the lashes.
Hi, thanks for the lashes. Should we do one more? Do we have time for one more?
Do one more.
Thank you.
Do one more?
Hi,
Are we over
you guys
there?
are gorgeous. And I was wondering if there was going to be a Sweet Life and Zack and Cody reunion following the trends this year.
Yeah, Kim. Especially how I set that up for you.
I don't know if you know this, but they didn't even ask me on the spin-off. I don't think that I would get the phone call.
Oh.
No, that's a little bitter, isn't it?
Well, you should get in contact with
Think it's a little fucking bitter? I don't know, no one's called me. That would be lovely. Thank you!
There! The two sides of Kim Rhodes.
I'm a Gemini!
Ladies, how was your time on stage?
It was so good. So good. Best time of my life.
Good.
Really.
Why don't I believe? I feel
Best time of my life.
These ladies both have stunning voices, and they're going to put them on full display tomorrow night at the Saturday Night Special. With this band playing with them, it's going to be a sight to behold. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Briana Buckmaster, and that right there, that's Kim. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Natural, natural. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Yay!
Not one of you.
What are you gonna do?
You'll find out soon enough.
Oh, Christ. Mostly never talks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the things that we do on stage. But there's more to come, there's photographs. There's photographs. There's probably a dinner break in there somewhere. Probably you people drinking. And then there's karaoke on this stage in this very room. We will see you tomorrow on this stage to start off day 2. But you are a Friday person. You already know what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, good people who are not from Chicago, we'll see you tomorrow. Hey Billy, close us off with your Jensen Ackles imitation. One more, come on, one more round.
Do it.
Going to dinner?
One of these days, one of your arms is gonna fly off. You really do the comedy elbow bit really firmly. A lot of anger in your comedy elbows.
What did Billy say?
Are we going to dinner?
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah. It was one of the comedy elbows that he got. Yeah, the other one was funnier. Hey, we're doing a bit. But we're doing autographs now.